Hey, what's going on, guys? Here at Galaxy Games with Jack Paul, not Jake Paul, Jack Paul, and he is here profiling his magical musketeers. Take it away, man.
All right. First, you play the best one in the deck, Magical Musketeer Caspar. He's really good just because of the simple fact that he searches all your magical musket cards, and I mean, you can get if you start out with a starter spell on your turn, you can get the Strudo or the Last Stand, and then on their turn you can get the other one that you didn't get just by simply stopping something they do. So I mean, he's really good. He's definitely one you want to see turn one. If you don't see him, you definitely want to see her because she helps get him. If you see a starter spell, you can get him from the deck by special summoning him. Hopefully, you don't get Ash like Smallville did today to beat me pretty much. Like so not only out to his fusion monster.
Yeah, the
Ash
dancer was lightning. Yeah.
Yep, OP. But yeah, she's really good. I mean, if you don't see ties with one of your level 3, she's definitely one that you want to see also going first because she really helps you get things started. On to the third Musketeer. The three Musketeers status is Kid Brave. You definitely want to play 3 of him. He gets you extra draws. I mean, if you see a starter spell, I mean, he's not the best to see going first, but if you see him with like ties, it's not bad. And if you have like an extra magical musket card, spell or trap in your hand, you can ditch it to get more cards in your hand to progress your game state. Because there's been times where I've had to do this, like through playtesting hands, and I ended up drawing my ties off of his effect just by having a spell starter. So he's pretty good.
Yep.
Next, this is pretty much to round off the level 3s. You play Doc. He's your recycler. If you get ties, and because the Trinity is you want to get Kid Brave. Have a good one, Chris.
See you, Chris.
You want to get the Trinity off of the ties. You want to get these 3 right here, simply because you have your Recycler, your Searcher, and you have your
Destiny Draw.
Yeah, Destiny Draw, pretty much. And I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, those are pretty much what you want to see off ties. You don't really go into level 4s with this. They don't give you any advantage. One Calamity, simply because if this is your starter and they somehow get over your board, whatever, and you have this in hand, at least you can get her out on the board and then special summon this back. And then if you have a starter spell, you can get your Casper. So I mean, you can spam back the field with just her if if it comes down to that. So one Calamity is pretty good. I'm gonna probably test out Wild, but I think right now just one Calamity is pretty good. On to the hand traps, you play the 3 Ash and the 1 Max C. You really can't play many hand traps in this deck because you need to see your starters because this deck is pretty slow and not that great, but. Hand traps wise, you still want to see, Ash is the best hand trap right now. Max C's the God card hand trap, so you definitely still want to play, something to try to stall your opponent a little bit. Next, you play 3 Ties. This is the best card in this deck. I mean, it really opens up your game state and really makes it to where you get advantage over your opponent simply by paying 2,000 life points. So you definitely want to see this, and hopefully it doesn't get ashed. Next, you play 3. I play 3 Steady Hand. This may get bumped down to 2. The reason I play 3 is it can be a starter spell if you don't see your Tune Table of Contents, Upstart, or just pretty much anything that can be activated turn 1 to get your Magical Musketeers to activate. So it's pretty good. Next, play 3 Tune Table of Contents. Speaking of it, it's really good simply for the fact that it's a starter spell and you can search out the other one. I don't play the Toon World just simply because Toon World, if you draw at turn 1, it's kind of meh, especially because you can't search it now, and you don't really want to have something locking out your zone. I mean, yeah, it can be break sword bait, but at the same time, I mean, the third one can be, and usually if you see ties or you see one of these spells, you're usually already going to get a decent enough advantage to where you don't need that third Toon World most of the time, because I mean, like for instance, if I get the Trinity, like I was saying earlier, you're only going to use 2 anyway on the 2, and then you're probably not going to really want to recycle with Doc or use the Kid Brave effect anyway. So for the most part, you pretty much only need two Table of Contents to go off. So 2 Cross Domination, the one's Proxy, it's on order. The reason I play 2 is it's not a starter spell, and it's really good. I mean, it's really definitely one of those ones you want to search with Caspar, possibly on your opponent's turn after you use Desperado or Last Stand, whatever. But it's not a starter spell, so you don't want to see too many of this going turn 1. I'd rather see something like like Pot of Desires, for instance. Speaking of it, you definitely want to see this just because it doesn't hurt your deck to, because most of the time, most of the cards you play obviously are doubles or triples, so it's not going to really hurt it that much. And then Upstart obviously is a +1 with Caspar, simply for the fact that you get the draw and then you get to search off Caspar. So you definitely want to play 1 Upstart. If we could play more than 1, I mean, we definitely playing 3 of that instead of Tune Table of Contents. Next, play 3 Desperado. This is definitely the best trap in the deck. It's basically Dryden for this deck, and pops a face-up card as long as you control a magical musketeer. So it's really good. And I mean, like doing this turn 1 with your cast bar on board is really good, simply because then you can get your 3 last stand. I'm thinking about bumping this down to 2, especially off of Smallville's input. It's good, but at the same time, you don't want to see multiple copies of this going turn 1, and it's obviously not a starter, so it's really good, but it doesn't stop monster effects. It only stops spell and trap, so it's kind of in between the fact that it might not be that good to have it 3. Plus, it's searchable and recyclable, so I don't need to see it like right instantly, and I can search it, so it's not a big deal. I play 1 Fiendish Deal. It's really good simply for if you see ties and you already have like Desperado or Last Stand in hand, you might want to search this just to protect your guys, and you can always put it in a zone all the way to the end so it doesn't, block off your guys from being able to recycle, search, whatever.
Yeah.
And then on to the final thing, I play the 3 strikes and the 1 Solemn for the Solemn Brigade. You definitely want to play these, in my opinion, just because, like I said, this deck doesn't really have... if it breaks hard, and you need something to be able to maybe stall your opponent for another turn so you can set up next turn. So Solemn Brigade is definitely, in my opinion, a must, or at least in the side or something. I mean, you definitely need that.
Yeah.
On to the extra. The extra is pretty irrelevant. I mean, this, you really, more or less, it's just a bunch of random stuff that I could go into. It's not, you never really want to overlay your guys.
Unless you need to out a Leo the Answer with the Lightning.
Exactly, yeah. This would have won me the game. Or, well, not won me the game, but at least gave me a chance to win the game.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, you play the Utopia package. I can play the extra one just because you have the room.
Space, yeah.
1 Tornado Dragon, just because it's a good level 4 or rank 4 right now. 1 Castel, because it's an ulti, why not? 1 Baguska, just because it's really good right now. Gaga Samurai. If you have the 3 level 3s and you have Gaga Samurai, I believe it's 81 damage. So that he's definitely a must in my opinion. And you can easily get still level 4s if you see Starfire. Next, 1 Honor Arc, 1 Abyss Dweller. 1 Nightmare Shark, just because sometimes that can win you a game. Acid Golem, just for certain decks, it really does help. 1 Wind Up Zen Means. This may come out for something else, but it is just the rank 3 that could stall me. 1 Mech Phantom, whatever it's called, just because it's another way to pop things like Tornado Dragon, and 1 Break Sword. Onto the side, this is personal preference, but this is what I just threw together for just kicks and giggles right now. 3 Droll, just because it's one of the best hand traps right now in the meta. 2 Ghost Ogre, just because, I mean, it's really good. You still want to obviously see Ghost Ogre in certain matchups, but didn't have the room to put the 3rd, so I just put 2 for now. So it's okay hand trap. Destruction, just because this deck loses to big boards. Same with Evenly Matched, just because, again, just loses to decks that have extremely big boards. This is definitely a trap that is really good right now, especially for this meta. Like I beat this could easily beat Paleozoics, for instance, if you go against it, just for the simple fact that it banishes 3 monsters in Grave, and it's really helpful because you can search it too. So I mean, it's a good side card for certain matchups that rely on their graveyards. So it's not bad. And then to round it off for pretty much pendulums, 2 anti-spell fragrance and 1 Imperial. But anyway, that does it for the deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any input on what I should put in the deck or add cards, if you played the deck yourself, please give me some input in the comments. I'd appreciate it, and please like and subscribe.
Yeah, you pretty much covered it, guys. Covered it, Jack. Catch you guys next time.